Hello everybody, my name is Dean and welcome to Books and Quirks. Today is Friday, so it's time for a Friday Reads. It's been a couple of weeks, so I was able to finish quite a few things, and I'm working on a couple of things. So I hope you're all having a good summer so far. It's gotten very hot very quickly, so hopefully you're staying cool or at the water or something where you can cool off. All right, so let me get right into it and tell you about all of the books that I finished the past couple weeks. So the first book that I finished recently was House of Shadows by Nicola Cornick. I just had an itch to pick this up. It's been on my shelf for a while. This is a book that takes place both in the past and the present. It's in two timelines. So this follows the Winter Queen in 1662. She was the Queen of Bohemia and her husband was Frederick. And it's a real historical figure that I really knew nothing about. And it follows a person in the present. It centers around Ashford Estate. So in this book, our main character is Holly. Her brother is staying at Ashford Estate. They own like a mill on the property, and he has gone missing. And she comes to find out that he was researching his family's history. And as she's looking into that, she finds herself kind of drawn to this like antique mirror and this pearl that has supposedly magical powers. And you go back in time into 1662 and find out more about these magical objects and what they can do. I really loved this book. There's a little bit of time travel or kind of overlapping of time in this book. There's of course a little bit of magic and a lot of history as well. I really loved this. There is a big romance as well aspect to this book, so be warned if that's not your thing. But I really love this. It kind of reminds me a lot of Susanna Kearsley. I read The Rose Garden recently that I've talked about and has a similar kind of vibe. And I can't wait to read more by this author. I'm so glad I picked up this book on a whim, months ago. And yeah, it was so good. I gave it 4 stars. The next book that I finished was The Book of M by Pang Shepherd. I always forget authors' names, so I always have it with me. By Pang Shepherd. This book was okay. So this is a post-apocalyptic book. It follows several different characters where in this world, people are disappearing. All people's memories in this world are connected to their shadows, and people start, or people's shadows start disappearing. And with that, they eventually lose all of their memories, including the ability to speak, the ability to breathe, everything. And a large population is dying out. So it follows several different characters as they're trying to get to a certain destination to see if there's a cure for the few people that are left in the world that still haven't, succumbed to this. I don't know whether to call it a disease or what have you. I really liked the premise of this book. Like the first third of the book was really good, I thought. I was really interested. I couldn't wait to see what was going to happen at the end. But then, by the time I got to the halfway point, it started to get really boring. It started to really drag. I wasn't really enjoying it, but I still was interested enough to keep going to see what happened at the end. And without spoiling anything, I'll just say that I didn't enjoy it. The ending to me didn't make sense, and I didn't really, I thought it was kind of silly. But if you enjoy post-apocalyptic, I would say give it a go, but it definitely was not a good book in my opinion. I wound up giving it 3 stars on Goodreads, but if I'm going to be honest, it was probably more like a 2.5 star read, just because I really like the beginning, like I said, but the rest of the book, not so much. The next book that I finished was The Swedish Prince by Karina Hale. So the Swedish Prince follows a young woman by the name of Maggie. She was a student at NYC, but once her parents died, she had to go home and take care of her siblings. So she now works as a housemaid in a hotel. And it follows Victor, who is the Crown Prince of Sweden, and he is staying at that hotel. And this is a romance, obviously. It's very much, if you've ever seen the movie Roman Holiday from I think it was the 50s that it was made. Roman Holiday starring Audrey Hepburn. It's kind of a retelling of that, but with a different, better ending. So that will only make sense if you've ever seen Roman Holiday. It's really a good movie, and it's a romance, and it's kind of, kind of a reimagining of that. And I thought this was a really cute, enjoyable story. I really enjoyed it. I mean, it is your typical royals romance, except that with the main character of Maggie, she has all of her siblings to contend with. So there's a lot of plot in that area as well. So I really enjoyed The Swedish Prince and gave it 4 stars. So I think during my last video that I made, I said that I was working on Ghosted by Rosie Walsh, and I did finish that as well. But I spoke about that a little bit. I'll just say that I didn't really enjoy it. And I also finished the second book in the Alex Verus series, which was Cursed, I think is the second book. So right now I'm working on the third book in that series, which is Taken. So this is the third book in the Alex Verus series. This is the series that I'm slowly making my way through, and I'm reading it with Cheryl of Sierra Flames fan. I absolutely adore this series. So this is a series that follows the main character of Alex. He is a mage, and this is a world where, magic exists, although unbeknownst to the humans. Magic exists. There are different mages with different abilities. Alex is a diviner, so he's able to kind of see possible futures based on different decisions that you make. He has an apprentice named Luna who has her own storyline. She has a curse kind of attached to her where people that come in contact with her can be harmed. There are magical creatures like Arachne, this giant spider who is also a seamstress. There are elementals. There are just so many different things in this book. There's also a council, which is kind of the government that oversees magical beings, or mages, rather. And I absolutely love this. So this is the third book of the series, and we're continuing on with the adventures of Alex and Luna and, all of these other side characters and creatures. And I absolutely find this book so much fun, these books so much fun. In each of these books, the action, it's action-packed, and it's constant things happening. It's a very fast read, these books, so you don't get bored at any point. And I absolutely am so happy to be continuing on. I think there's like 10 in the series, or 9, maybe. I know Mel from Mel's Bookland Adventures read them all already, and we got the idea of reading this from her. So I can't wait to continue on. We already started this book, and we're just now getting to like the middle of it. So I haven't picked up anything else yet, but I was trying to think of what I want to read this weekend, and I think I'm going to go with Every Heart a Doorway by Shannon McGuire. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce that first name. I probably should look it up, but I remember hearing about this book on BookTube quite a lot a couple of years ago. I just never had a chance to pick it up. It's really tiny, like, I don't know, like 150 pages. And I'm not sure what it's about. I think it's about a world where children disappear, and it follows a woman who came back as a child. Yeah, so it says Eleanor West's home for wayward children. No solicitations, no visitors, no guests. So since I can't remember a whole lot about this book, I want to try it. I remember people really liking it, and since it's so short, I'm sure I could get through it without a problem. And yeah, hopefully I like this. It was a Hugo and Nebula Award winner, so that draws me right in because I've had great luck with Hugo winners and Nebula winners. I absolutely love fantasy. So the next book that I thought maybe I'd start is Alison Pataki and Owen Pataki's Where the Light Falls. This is a book that I purchased for the Reading Through the Ages year-long readathon, and it centers around the French Revolution. So I'm really excited to get into this and see what I think. I'm not sure if I'll finish it, but it's not all that long, so we'll see. So the only other thing I want to show you is my update for the Reading Through the Ages readathon. I'm doing really well, I think. You know, for halfway through the year, I've already made 2 bingos, and I'll show the card here. I made a bingo on the top horizontal line and the vertical line on the right. And under each category, I put what book I read that fits that category. So just wanted to give a little update on that, and all of the information will be down below. This was a readathon that was created by Mel of Mel's Bookland Adventures about reading more historical fiction, and hence I've been reading a lot of historical fiction this year so far. And I've been doing well. There's still a few categories I don't have books for, but we'll see. I have to still find some books for some of those categories. But that is all I have for you. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you all very soon. Bye.